team will follow up, and we'll see if it's going to be the same case for Boom ID if they can take game number 2, or if Signify will tie it up as we enter the draft. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Mont Jesus. I'm getting tired. I can't even talk correctly. Jenkins, how are you, buddy?
Hello, friend. I'm
Hello.
great.
Hello.
I'm ready for some Dota. Hopefully there's another Slark pick. I like these Slark games.
They're action packed.
They seem they're like a stomp one way or the other. It seems like either Slark is destroying everybody or he is feeling completely useless.
Yes.
So I dig it.
That's how the Euro should be, I think. But and we'll see.
It makes sense. It makes sense. If it wasn't like that, he'd be really overpowered, I think.
Yes, I think so too. But I do want to mention something real quick that we were talking about in the post-game chat, which was interesting. XctN, Boom ID's captain. None of you guys are going to care about this, and I understand that because it's a typically me/American thing. His favorite band is Streetlight Manifesto, which coincidentally is also mine and Sir Aggr.Slayer's favorite band that we've seen numerous times. It is a New Jersey band. XctN was lamenting the fact that they don't come to Indonesia, and I really hope they do because it is an experience, and I did promise XctN that we would play a song at the end of this series, so I will do just that. Jenkins, do you know Streetlight Manifesto? Do you know who they are?
No. What sort of music is that?
They are ska. They are essentially fourth wave ska. Well, that's what they want to be called, but it's more post-ska. They were actually just on Reddit the other day. I'm assuming you know what ska is, first of all.
I have no idea what ska is.
You've never heard of ska. That's interesting. Have you ever heard...
Dude, I listen to hip-hop.
Okay,
that's about it.
That's fine. Have you ever heard Real Big Fish or Sublime or... Well, Sublime to a lesser extent, or even early No Doubt? Any of those bands?
Sublime's like an oldish band, right?
Well, they're from the 90s,
I think I played some of their songs on Guitar Hero.
Okay, well, they're a reggae/ska band. They have some ska songs. Ska is essentially... like reggae rock mixed with horns, like trumpets and all that other stuff. So it's like this really upbeat type of music generally. You could just search any number of ska songs in YouTube and you'll understand immediately. Whereas
what does ska stand for? What does that mean?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's just ska. That's all I know.
It's just ska? Okay.
I mean, I'm sure it stands for something or it is something. But
I'm sure it does, yeah.
But Streetlight Manifesto is one of the few bands that is still running that as a ska band. I guess there are a lot of ska bands out there, but they're punk ska. They're more, it's not like that upbeat, poppy feel that you get from other ska bands. They're actually like hard punk rock, really interesting songs kind of stuff, and they are my favorite band other than the Chili Peppers. So, and I know that was like a 10-minute tangent that I just went on, but it's very important to me that I find another Streetlight Manifesto lover because, me and Slacks, it's not enough, so...
That's pretty cool because I've never heard of them, and apparently they're big in Indonesia.
Well, I'm not sure that's true. I mean, they're pretty. They're not that well known. I think by internet users and Reddit users and stuff like that they are, but they don't have the biggest venues on there. I've been to like 4 of their concerts, and it's usually in small places. So. Have
you spoken to any of the band members? Is that how small they are?
No, they're not that small. By the time I started going to see them, the concerts were usually sold out. But
okay.
Anyway,
so they're medium sized.
They're a band that should be a lot more popular than they are, and I will do my best to get more viewers of Streetlight Manifesto. So if you want to check them out, they're on YouTube. Very simple.
You're doing God's work.
Yes.
So is XctN.
That's right. He actually has the lead singer as his profile picture, so that was really cool.
Oh.
But we are into the draft now. Boom ID picking up the 2 heroes that were actually picked by Signify last game. They're going to go for the Night Stalker Death Prophet this time. On the other side, Signify will steal the Beastmaster away from them and also grab the Witch Doctor and Tusk, a very good support duo. Witch Doctor Tusk is very strong, and I think they're in a really good spot right now as well.
Yeah, those are pretty beastly supports to be paired together, and then as well with the Beastmaster, like between these 3 heroes, they have like a ridiculous amount of lockdown, team fight, ganking. It's just 3 pretty nice heroes that they can pair together. Like if you put any of these 2 heroes in a lane together, they'll kill somebody. Like there's some way that they kill somebody, which is pretty nice. But on the other side, we have Death Prophet, Night Stalker. Night Stalker is the most picked, most banned hero in MDL, and Death Prophet is the 3rd, but the kind of scary thing is that this hero, even though it didn't look so great in the last game, it's a 71% win rate in the games that it was played in the last week of MDL.
Oh.
So there's something to it. There's something there,
Oh, yeah. I think Death Prophet's in a pretty good spot. She can take over the game essentially on her own. The Woundz into Aeon Disc build that has been so popular recently is absolutely fantastic. I think Aeon Disc, if you talk about certain items and you immediately associate them with certain heroes, there's like I think that Death Prophet is like the only Aeon Disc user where like, yeah, that's 100% an item that you buy in like every game.
Pugna, Death Prophet, these like really important to stay alive heroes, team fighty kind of cancerous heroes. But yeah, Death Prophet is like she's kind of the big one at least right now. Yeah, she's insane. Although you can purge it with the Necronomicon. So that's interesting. They have.
Do you mean when the active comes out, you purge it immediately? Is that how it works?
Yeah, you can purge it. It's purgeable. I've learned that the hard way as a Pugna player. It's like what the hell? How am I dying here? I got an Aeon Disc, and then it's just some guy presses.
The one thing is
purge on me.
You can also, I'm assuming, then purge it with Nullifier after it's used, but Nullifier does not stop it from being used. Correct? Like if you nullify somebody, they take some damage. Right. It's still going to go off.
Still work. With Nullifier. Exactly. Passive still works. So, you can nullify it off though.
That's interesting.
The Lina is this like this is people's like Death Prophet counter? I guess it's definitely a good hero right now. I've played against this hero a lot in pubs, and played it a little bit myself, and it feels pretty strong right now. Just with the buffs that she's gotten. It definitely feels pretty strong, and with like the int changes, and she gets more of a mana pool, and does more magic damage. It feels like she just kind of chunks out like insane amounts of damage. You can go for either the physical damage build or the magic damage build, and both of them are pretty damn good. Pretty good against the Death Prophet as well, because you can just burst her before her ult does anything. And obviously, we saw the last game, like the laning situation was pretty rough for the Death Prophet, but there was also some pretty insane Lina play going on. So
I'm wondering why Lina was so good in that lane, other than just Makoto being a god. She has very spammable spells, as does Death Prophet, but she's got range, and she also has decent damage too. Like the range is another thing, right? She only really gets outranged by like Sniper, among other heroes.
Yeah, it's like I think Sniper Visage has a pretty long range.
Yeah,
she's pretty insane. Where's Makoto at? What are these names? What's going on with these names here?
I think Makoto was the stand-in for Boom ID.
He was the stand-in.
That's right. I forgot to say in the draft or in the lobby in game 1, they were saying, hey, the admin was pushing them to get going. Otherwise, they were going to take penalty time, which they didn't end up happening because they brought in a stand-in, which I think was Makoto.
That's crazy. He did really well.
Right. And for somebody to be a stand-in and be that good, that's probably the perfect situation for Boom ID. And it also makes me wonder how Fervian's going to do and who's going to play mid now and how this is going to go. Usually you're more comfortable without your standing, if you have your normal player, but I don't know. Maybe it's also just Boom ID are in that good of a spot, and Signify, they're a team that hasn't played that much, especially in the SEA region, because, of course, for those of you that don't know, Signify are an Indian team, a full 5-man Indian squad, which is not the best in terms of esports and I guess the Dota sphere as well. I know there are obviously Indian Dota players out there, and I think they have some really talented stuff, but
it's like Australian Dota. It's like you hear about it, there's good players there, but it just hasn't really surfaced as much yet. And we're a couple of North American twats, so maybe we don't know anything about what's going on over there in Australia and India. But to us North Americans, it kind of seems like we've barely scratched the surface of like India Dota. Like I've never heard of an Indian Dota team other than these guys. So it's exciting to watch, and
there's a lot of teams that have come out of nowhere from regions you wouldn't expect pretty recently. It's exciting to see what they can do. Yeah, VGJ, I mean...
NA hype?
Finally, NA has another, voice in the conversation instead of just EG,
Dude, hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. I love it. SVG is such a god, dude. He's so good, actually.
He's pretty smart, too.
He's so smart.
Yeah.
And I played with the Aorus on my team like a couple of weeks before they had their huge run through stuff. And I just remember thinking, like, man, he's not just like better than people in the game because they suck. Like it was good players in the game, and he was just shit stomping everybody. Like it felt it's like this guy feels like he's just on another level right now, and I'm so glad to see that it actually they actually have results. I mean, MSS has always felt like that. I mean, you've been in NA Dota for a long time. You know,
yes.
MSS is he's always been considered amazing here. Like even when he's on crappy teams, it's like yeah, MSS is like he's always the crown jewel of a team. And now it kind of feels like that team has a lot of them.
Yeah, I agree, especially with Resolution on that team now. You're absolutely right about that. I think MSS...
Snaking feels like a jewel, too, usually when he's on a team.
Snaking got a bad rap, I think, back when he played with Navi US and he was part of that Dignitas squad. I think Snaking was often considered... I don't know. There were some issues they had with him for some reason. First of all, I like Snaking. He's a fun dude. He's a cool dude. I think he's played extraordinarily well on that team, and it's why they've gone so far in 2 tournaments right in a row. And you're absolutely right about MSS, by the way. I think MSS, I don't know if anybody, I think EU people felt the same that we did, that he was going to be an amazing team. He had a rough time when he first started playing because, of course, the whole family issue that everybody knows about, and also he played with EG in that, really bad incarnation of that team when MLG Columbus was like the one time I remember that, when Speed Gaming was around and all that stuff. They had a pretty rough run at MLG Columbus. They kind of got destroyed on stage. It was pretty rough stuff. But
he's one of those players that you play with, and it feels like he could contest that slot for like best player in the world. He has it in him to be that player.
Yeah.
To just at this point, he's literally the best. He's like a universe. Actually, in fact, I think that's what his team called him. They call him a discount universe. I think that's what a lot of people.
I don't
called
think
him
that's fair for him. I think he's actually. I'm not going to say that he's better than Universe, obviously, but I think he's way better than a discount Universe.
He's not just a discount anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe before, but
I also
now
think he's very laid back, and that's helpful for Dota teams. Every time I talk to him, it's just a laid back conversation, and I think that's probably how he reacts when he plays in game too. I don't know if he's really one that gets upset about stuff. I mean, I've seen him get upset before, but I don't know. Anyway, that's MSS. That's VGJ Storm. Congrats to them for having such a sick run in 2 tournaments in a row, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do at the Super Major. But now we have other stuff to happen. We have a Dota game going on between Boom ID and Signify. Signify, the all-Indian team. Boom ID, the Indonesian team. Boom ID.
Good luck, Daddy, he says.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
That was
stuff.
hot, says Lena. I wouldn't say something like that. Lena said that.
That's right. But Boom ID stomping the first game after about the 5-minute mark, where they just had a really great couple of mid-game fights. Signify have the lead this time. They have a good... I like their draft a lot more. They actually have initiation between the Tusk and the Beastmaster, which they did not have in Game 1. I mean, what did they have in Game 1? They had a Night Stalker running in with Void, and then they had a Dark Willow trying to follow up. But Boom ID's XctN is going to get to safety, as he was getting chased down by Mr. Crowley. He does have the level 1 Grave Chill. What do you think about Visage now? I know that we've played a lot of Visage, you and I together, at least not like you've played Visage and you seem to enjoy it, but what do you think about the hero currently?
I think it's still pretty good. Like the pub win rate is still pretty high. He hasn't really gotten nerfed all that much. I think the Grave Chill was nerfed.
Grave Chill, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, no, he still feels pretty good. The only thing is like, when you nerf something from 7 seconds to 6, it might not seem like a lot, but it went from like a 70% uptime to 60%. So that's it's not just like it's hefty. It's noticeable because those birds get it too. So that's a lot of damage that you're missing out on, and the birds like getting in front of people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he still feels pretty good. It could be hit or miss though. Like if you have a Visage in the safe lane and he just gets destroyed in the laning phase, like he'll just never come online. He'll never feel effective. He'll just feel like a support.
Well, he is a support in this game. They have the Ember Spirit down bottom for Fervian.
Oh, you're right, actually. Whoops.
So XctN is going to be playing in that, I would imagine, 5 role, considering they have the Night Stalker to play as their 4.
Yeah, he's got the old Tango 3 Mango build. He's looking to get punched up here.
That's right. Yeah, we've the triple Mango. Times. I'm a pretty big. We saw it on the Sark in one of the other games, which I thought was pretty cool. I should do this more often. There's a lot of triple mangoes coming out in this game. Negi has one on his Beastmaster, so...
It's just like, it gives you so much mana, and then obviously the regen is like broken, but it's just the fact that the regen it gives you is so good, and then just does a lot. He just does a lot.
3.8 regen with just the mangoes and no Tanger running, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. And then remember, for strength heroes too, you get buffed, you get amplification on the HP regen.
Oh,
You get a
right.
little bit more than other people
That's
do.
true. That's interesting.
So,
I guess that's
pretty
an added
good.
benefit. And we'll see how this bottom lane goes. I think Signify did pretty well, except for mid lane in their last game in terms of the laning phase. I think this game might even be better for them with this bottom lane matchup that they have. But
yeah, that's a pretty beastly lane, and it's physical damage versus the Ember Spirit. Like a lot of physical damage with the Tusk right clicks and the axes. So Ember's gonna struggle down here for sure.
But the Lifestealer might not get that much top either between Yoakum and the overwhelming odds of the Legion Commander doing some serious damage.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Lifestealer is one of the few carries that can go against a dual lane like this, though, just because he's against 2 strength heroes, so he's gonna get a lot of that juicy lifesteal from Feast.
Yeah.
And then the Witch Doctor's also really good against dual lanes because of the cask hitting 2 people. It's like a perfect scenario. So I feel like this is actually one of the few lanes that can deal okay with like a really, really strong aggro dual lane. And this is another one of those lanes, like the Legion Commander plus the Night Stalker, where they just have a lot of armor and damage between them, and that's kind of it. There's no like crazy synergy other than that.
Yeah.
Just really high numbers.
At least until maybe nighttime when you can get off a long duration void. Maybe you can do something with the Legion Commander. But Legion's notable for just having a great time in lane. Meanwhile, Fervian is dead bottom. Looks like Whirling Axes, 1 auto attack. It's going to be Mr. Crowd that gets the kill on the Tusk. That is very big. This Ember Spirit, as you mentioned, having a rough time against this aggressive dual lane. He has only 3 last hits. This is already much better for Signify than in the last game.
Yeah, honestly, this doesn't look like an easy Ember game in general. He's against a bunch of physical damage, Alina, which is like considered a hard counter to Ember because he heals off the shield.
Yeah.
Lifestealer Beastmaster, 2 physical damage cores, Witch Doctor, physical damage hero, and Tusk, who also has physical damage with the Walrus Punch, so it's gonna be a pretty hard game for him.
I think even if he gets Lincoln Sphere, this game is still difficult. Which, of course, you're going to want against Beastmaster Roar.
Yeah, I mean, because you could still just go Shadowblade on Lina and then just, pop him when he's on a creep wave. Yeah.
Maybe he just dies.
Yeah. See, how's the last hits looking?
Pretty
Favorite
good
of the
for
Dire.
Signify.
Yeah.
And that does not surprise me considering how this is. And again, it's the Lina doing pretty well against the Death Prophet already. I mean, it's still not as much as it was in the last game, but it looks like... I want to watch this matchup to see what is happening, but I also don't want to miss any action elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm interested in this one too because it's like weird heroes.
I mean, this is a DD, and FBZ is still kind of having a tough time. I guess it's just the spam ability of Dragon Slave.
In the range, range too.
Kezcute's dead. They do get the kill onto Mr. Crowd, but it's after Kezcute falls. But Fervian now is going to take a Wild Axe to the face.
He might actually be dead.
He does
He's
have 7
definitely
stick
dead.
charges.
Oh, he's not going to chase it.
I thought he might have. He actually had Wild Axes back up, but he decided not to go for it.
Playing it safe.
Yeah.
That is definitely... Although...
Are they going back in? Yeah, they are. Nice snowball dodge.
They're going to kill him?
Yeah, Fervian's dead. He had no stick charges available, plus he's salve, of course, wasn't going to do anything in that situation.
It's just so easy with the... I didn't think of this combo actually where you can snowball right after the chains and set up for the axes like immediately. You're just right on top of them. So you get that like guaranteed last axe right after the chain that would normally save himself from whatever, but the Tusk is just like, well, whatever, you chain, so I'll just follow you right after it's done. No problem.
This is another one of those really good dual lanes like the IO Beastmaster was last game, and that makes me want to play this type of dual lane. It's in a pretty good spot.
I love to see this in competitive games because I'm so sick of people trying to roam in my pubs. Like, I'm so sick of having a guy run between mid and bot and do nothing anywhere, when it's just like, dude, look at all these competitive players. They're literally sitting in one lane for at least 4 minutes. They're just sitting. They're just sitting until like that 5-minute rune spawns and just doing dual lanes. It's 2-on-2. That's how Dota is now. It's 2-on-2.
I was going to ask you earlier in the game, is there any chance of having defensive tri lanes? I mean, what's the percentage that we'll see that, in our games in this tournament? Because I'm not sure how popular it's going to be having a defensive tri lane, or even an aggressive tri lane for that matter.
I mean, it's just with how hard the offlane is, there's no way. Like, you're just gonna have like a completely useless offlaner.
No.
and then that makes it so there's going to be more dual lanes that are really, really strong. So if you defensive tri-lane a dual lane that's really, really strong, you're just going to lose the game because then you have other lanes that are losing while you're probably going to lose that lane anyway. And actually, as I'm rambling on about that, they killed the Death Prophet on the middle lane.
I didn't catch it either. No chance might die top. Open Woundz comes out. Good cask. No chance. They did get a moment of courage proc that actually got the kill. If that hadn't happened, he probably dies to the tower. Lucas does, excuse me. You know, it's... When I see the dual lanes and I see the nerfs to offlaners that have happened in the past, like, however many patches it's had, it kind of makes me realize this is what IceFrog wanted. I think he wanted these dual lane fights to be back the way that they are currently. You know, have 2v2.
I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. Like, offlane's actually not just death, you know, just death in every pub. It feels, it's just even. It's just an even lane.
Yeah.
It's so much more fun than just going into the offlane. It's like, well, how many times will I feed this game before I lose?
It makes your life easier for sure as an offlaner.
Oh, yeah.
Extras is in mid. They did get the kill onto the Beastmaster down bottom. They almost got the kill on the Tusk, but he won and then used a Fairy Fire and somehow survived at like 10 HP or something ridiculous. So kind of unfortunate. Boom ID didn't get both of them, but they still got a nice big kill, getting the Ember Spirit back in the game, who has recovered nicely. He's third in the CS chart.
I was actually going to say, there's a few things that I've seen in the past couple of minutes that leads me to believe that the synergy between Boom is just a lot better than the synergy between Signify, whether it be due to practice or maybe the players just don't mesh, or I don't know. But I just saw in the middle lane, like the Witch Doctor and the Lina, the Witch Doctor like went into cask and he also used the Maledict on the Night Stalker, and the Lina just uses the Laguna there. The Night Stalker dies, but they just clearly weren't communicating well what was about to occur, because it just looked like they, it just looked like they weren't talking to each other about. Yeah, and there's ownage.
Yeah,
occurring.
That was not the play, though, for him, for the Legion Commander. He got baited in by the low HP of the Lifestealer, and then they immediately TP in the Tusk and turned it around with the Snowball and the Rage coming out for Blizzard. So that was almost good. I mean, if the Legion was level 6, that would have been a kill, but of course it's level 4. They're going to go for a silence onto the Tusk, but Mr. Krau is very tanky. I mean, he is actually insanely tanky, and they can't kill him. They do kill
these strength heroes, man.
Yeah, they killed
a weird fight between Night Stalker and Tusk.
Now the Lifestealer's coming back in. Did he have a salve delivered? How has he got so much HP now all of a sudden? What the hell?
Shrine, I think?
Ooh, this cask. Shrine. Oh, that cask. That's depressing. Does have a sick overwhelming odds. Good Snowball, though. Soul Assumption, no chance is dead. Blizzard trying to find that kill, but so fast movement speed on the... oh, Jesus, this is a problem. He actually... Wow, Signify's Swifty just came out of nowhere and secures a couple of kills for his team. They do get a double kill for Kezcube, but that was a hefty fight. It was 3 for 3 trade, actually, throughout the entirety of it. It's an 873 gold picked up by Signify, 200 more than that of the Boom ID team.
Yeah, I think the majority of that gold is actually from Ember just free farming the bottom lane, and then the Death Prophet was free farming the mid lane and got a bunch of damage to that tier 1 tower. If you look at the tier 1 tower of the Lina versus the tier 1 tower of the Death Prophet, DP didn't even use the Exorcism, and he's got it down to like a third of its HP. So that's super good for Boom, obviously. I mean, regardless, this game is pretty close in terms of the net worth, but in terms of towers, I mean, that was if you lose your middle lane tower early in the game, it could just feel like the game can feel so rough. That opens up such a huge area of the map for the enemy team.
Especially if you get the tier 1 tower top as well, which is getting, well, actually hasn't taken any damage. I thought it was actually taking some, but if they can get both the tier 1 mid and tier 1 top, you're in a really good spot for
kind of feels like it should have been taking damage, though, with how much fighting was going on up there.
I guess it's a Night Stalker and a Legion. They don't do the most tower damage in the world.
Yeah. It's been kind of pushed out.
But they're going to take the tier 1 bottom, which is probably the one that Signify care the least about given the circumstances. Still, it's going to be a free tower, it looks like. The cask will bounce, but it's only once. They're going to try to take the tier 1 mid anyway with the Lina. They also have the Tusk on the high ground trying to maybe take a fight.
They could maybe do some Roar shenanigans here. I mean, they don't have the Witch Doctor 6, though, so...
I think they're just going to give this up. It's already dead. The scan, by the way, did connect onto the Tusk. They know that someone is behind the tower, so the Visage is not showing himself in the mid lane, which is very smart. He also already has a Medallion as a support Visage. He has no boots, of course, which is the trade-off.
He's getting his level 6 mid. That's why they're putting 2 cores in one lane, because Visage needs some levels now. This is definitely the play, even for a 5-roll Visage. Night Stalker's actually giving him last hits too, so Night Stalker's kind of gonna play the 5 this game.
Which is fine. Visage level 6 is huge. I know that Darkness is a big ability for Night Stalker, but I think having Visage Birds along with boots that are now coming out and a medallion is more than enough to win you a fight if you have the right circumstances. Although Fervian might be dead. He's going to get maledicted. Nah, they didn't roar him. He's fine. He loses a lot of his last hits, though. That was a big stack taken by the rest of the Signify team.
Yeah, but he does get a bit of the XP, and Power's pushing in. Although he's got to be a little careful here.
All right, this is a big fight potentially. If they can kill this lifestealer, it would be huge. But it seems as if they know. Oh, that's a scan.
It's a hard kill. Even with the duel, it's hard. Got Rage, got Feast.
They Blizzard spotted Yokum. That gank is over. They're just gonna push the top tower with birds now.
Okay. No, I like this. I like that the lifestealer's just leaving. Like they're giving this up. There's a certain point in a Dota game where you just can't possibly keep all your tier 1s, and it just costs too much. Like you have to be in too many lanes at once where the enemy team can just pick you off to try to defend these towers. And Signify like recognizing that as they're good players. Actually, as I say that, they're walking.
They're running up top.
This is where it gets dangerous, though. Like, if they try to do this and they fail, it can just get so bad. Like, it can snowball out of control.
All of that has to happen is that FBZ just TPs in with Exorcism in the game. Well, not the game, but that fight ends. Instead, he's just going to take the tower.
As a result of this.
They're TPing the Witch Doctor, so they know that the Witch Doctor's not going to be there.
So he can TP top. I mean, this is just like... It's just the playing 3 lanes thing at once, you know? You do this and you just risk so much because you're being so greedy.
I like what you were saying about how at some point you have to let your towers go. Usually, though, the trade-off is you're trading towers or getting kills or getting farm. That really wasn't happening in that situation.
Yeah,
although they keep the tower alive, though.
The result is, though, that the mid tower is falling to just the Death Prophet, so they can get the deny, but the map control, like, that's still a huge element here, especially against a Night Stalker.
Yokum is fine. LSA connects onto the birds. They get one of them. The tower's still in deny range. The Death Prophet could have walked up. Actually, the Death Prophet's top now. They're going to go for a duel. Exorcism's going to go. He did use Rage. So actually, Lucas is taking a lot of damage. He's almost dead, in fact. Walrus Punch will kill him. Mr. Crowl is going to probably fall to this Exorcism, but actually maybe not. The Snowball comes in, and maybe they find this kill. They're going to try to turn it around. Soul Assumption doesn't do any damage to Mr. Crowl. He also has the heal coming in from No Chance. Roar on the other side. Death Ward coming out, and the Laguna. They want this FBZ kill, and they're finally going to find it. This is a pretty good fight for Signify. Kezcube's dead as well. It's 3 down now just for the Beastmaster. They didn't even get the tower. It's only at half HP, so it's still pretty healthy. That was a good Rage timing for Blizzard and a really good TP rotation coming in from Signify, and I don't know, kind of aggressive from Boom ID, and they're going to lose Yokum as well, probably. Yep. Or maybe not. They should. Yeah.
I can't focus on anything other than the fact that Nakes has 1437 max HP when he turns off his armlet.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I can't. That's a player.
That's without shreds, too.
What are you doing having a player as your HP?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, I see what you're saying. All right, yeah. I did not understand what you were talking about for the first, 10 seconds of that conversation, and then it dawned on me that, yes, indeed, 1437 is a player.
I'm talking shenanigans. Total shenanigans.
Does he still go by Rose, though?
Is he Rose now? I don't know.
He was, I think, at some point. I can't remember.
He's a troll.
I haven't watched any Dota in a long time other than BGS or where, I haven't really even... Anyway, that's not important. What is important is that I'm an idiot, and, yeah, great.
I don't know what he's up to now, actually.
I have no idea.
He was on, He's not still on TNC, is he?
No, he left a while ago.
He left that. He's probably just chilling. I know he likes to chill.
Who doesn't?
That's true. Oh, that looks like a dead Legion commander.
Yep.
He's so sad.
Very deadly
He's such
commander.
a sad boy.
The Yule Snowball isn't the best, but the LSA being there is more than enough to make up for it. Plus the Laguna. Lena showing why this is a good hero. Swifty is having a great game. A 2k lead now for Signify. They did lose their tier 1 tower top lane, but they're going to make up for it by getting both the kill and the tower bottom. And I have to say, this is looking a lot better for Signify. They kind of got rolled over in game 1. Boom ID, they don't have Makoto, the stand-in that played the Lena last game, and now they're kind of... Looks like they're starting to lose their ground in this game. 3k disadvantage currently for them.
There's part of me that's just thinking, this Ember is just
not
it feels like he's not capable of doing anything in this game just based on who he's against. Like, it's not even a player thing. He's playing perfectly fine. It's just it's a hard game for him to do anything.
You know,
how's he gonna kill a Lifestealer or a Beastmaster or Lina with Euls?
Gabby played Ember Spirit last series, and he went bots, and I would have much preferred bots in this game, although I'm sure it doesn't matter, like you're mentioning.
It feels like the heroes against 5 heroes that don't really give a damn about Ember Spirit.
This Battle Fury timing is also pretty late, too.
If you're like a Lifestealer carrying this game, do you care about an Ember?
No, you can just shoot through him.
You just eat him up.
Yeah. And he's going to go Radiance to the Lifestealer too, which is really good. I think this Ember... I guess the Battle Fury timing is not necessarily late, but it feels... And I know there's the recipe now, too, so it's extra gold that you have to spend. It just feels like... I don't know if he's done anything. I don't know if he's going to do anything. Probably not.
At what point is he going to be useful? I guess like Daedalus?
If he gets Lincoln Sphere, maybe. But even then, you don't have that much damage.
Lincoln's, Daedalus, Battle Fury, and then like
the
DP
the game goes
in.
late enough. Ember's always going to be useful, right? Because it's just that type
true.
of hero. But again, the game has to get that late. Get that late first and foremost.
Yeah, that is asking a lot. And then in the late game, I feel like there's actually a lot to deal with him in the late game. Like a lot of the time there isn't.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this Legion is so dead.
Wow.
Oh, what?
Well, he still is because he walked out. He almost survived there. He bought his blink at least, so that's good. And that's really the item they need. They need a blink duel in this game desperately. I almost feel like if they
surprised that the gold lead is only 1K.
It's because they've been farming the rest of the map while Signify have been kind of just sitting bottom looking for kills. This is a pretty good trade if you can get it, I think, if you're Boom ID, given the circumstances of this game.
I like this play.
Yeah, they have Medallion. This should go pretty quickly. Yoakum's taking a lot of damage.
Although I can't help but think there's so much on the back of this Death Prophet right now, because the Ember is just... He's going to need so many more items to come online, and the Death Prophet's the only one who can tear through, like, the Nake's Rage and, you know, the Lina, and... I don't know.
And they know that Death Prophet ulti's down now. They could probably get a lot done in the next few minutes because of that, if they wanted to go for the tier 1 mid or something like that.
Yeah, although it looks like they're playing the split game for now. Because their lanes were in a bad spot.
Yeah,
because
the tier 2 was getting pushed out.
They pushed all together, so...
Look,
look, Ember, he's running at the Nakes. Look out. Nakes, he's gonna get you.
And Ember's like, I might be dead if I walk up any further. So
yeah.
He needs to back up. He's actually the second net worth hero in the game. A lot of that gold is nothing, essentially. But the game gets better for them as the time goes on. They have a blink now in the Legion Commander that absolutely needs to get a couple dual victories. If it doesn't, they might just lose map control. They might just lose team fights, and they're actually going to smoke with it now.
Yeah, he has 0 dual victories, actually. That's pretty insane.
Yep.
He needs to duel the Tusk.
They're trying to go
He's
in.
Get roared,
this is
okay.
This is going to be a Beastmaster, but they have a Snowball save, of course. And
yeah, that's why he needs to duel the Tusk.
Well, they still might find a fight. Deathward comes out. They're going to get 2 out of this. The Void comes in. Of course, they still have Aegis. Fervian has it, and they're just chasing after no chance. All right, the game has been salvaged, just like that.
Well, I guess he's just like, all right, guys, we just got to initiate. We'll win the fight. There's probably somebody on his team screaming that. I know people love to scream that in NA. She's like, just start a fight, guys. We'll win. Just somebody start the fight. At least I get that a lot because I'm an offlane player, and that's what offlaners do. We're all initiators, you know?
Yep.
We're all mad, just insane, running in. They're just like, just go fight.
I mean, it worked in that situation.
Yeah, it did. I guess with the DP and the Ember being so strong, you can just kind of go in and they'll do.
I mean, they didn't even have extras, and they didn't need it. The big thing was they didn't have either the Lina or the Lifestealer in that fight. The Lifestealer, if he's there, it's much harder to fight because he's just shooting the rest of your team up. You know.
I really thought that if the Tusk gets a snowball off, it's just like such a useless duel. Like they're gonna lose the fight. But
well, they came out of snowball, and then the immediate visage drop happens, and you're just like, I guess I'm stunned forever now, and my team's not helping me. So what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, they have silence follow up. They have the Ember Chains. They have the Night Stalker, who's like a great chaser. Yep. They have the Death Prophet silence, Visage Birds.
This is the difference between this game and the last game where they had the Death Prophet on Signify. It's the DB that runs in, and she's like, oh, I'm going to get you. I'm going to pop my ultimate, and hopefully people will die.
Oh, look out, guys. There's spooky ghosts running at you.
And then you have no lockdown. You have like a Void and Dark Willow Bramble Maze. You're like, great, we didn't kill a single person.
It worked once. That was sick once.
Great. I'm glad it did.
That was cool, man. I like that. I dig it. But in this game, no, you're right. There's a lot of good lockdown.
That is Aegis. He used the steering chains a little too early, but he's fine. That's not even the Aegis going. That's pretty big. That's 2 heroes bottom. They could try to find a fight. There's good news for the Dire. There's a ward that spots out exactly where XctN is, and that might be him dead. In fact, it is.
Oh.
They roared Laguna, and Walrus punched him, and let me tell you, he's mega dead. He is super dead. He's more dead than any hero I've seen in a long time.
I've never seen a hero that dead. I've never seen 3 ultimates. They're like extreme ultimates too. They all make really loud noises.
You're roaring at somebody. Laguna is just like a lightning strike on your face. Walrus
and then like punching somebody into the air like 10 feet. That could not have been more extreme.
It's like the equivalent of getting hit by a bus.
Yeah, it's like you got punched by One Punch Man.
Yeah, all that we needed is One Punch mod.
What's his name? Saitama?
Yeah.
Never knew how to pronounce it.
It's Japanese. You're not supposed to know how to pronounce it unless you're a weeb like me.
I guess that's true. It's a great show.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm trying to get Ellie to watch that.
One Punch Man is like it's one of those, we were just talking about this earlier, but there's anime that is kind of really acceptable by the general population, or rather accepted by the general population. One Punch Man is one of those. Like if Bill Burr is watching One Punch Man, you know it's probably being watched by a lot of people. It's very mainstream, it's funny, you know, the humor's not over. That's the thing with anime, is that a lot of the humor is super Japanese, and it's not in that show. I mean, there is some Japanese humor, but which is also another reason why I like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, because it feels like an American show. I mean, but I like the fact that it's not. So, anyway, this is a whole bunch of stuff I'm talking about that has no pertainingness.
Dude, I'm sure these players like anime.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, damn.
There is a fight going on, and it is pretty rough for the Signify team. That's a double remnant, double searing chains for Furby, who now is a double kill, and he's almost going to have a triple. In fact, there it is with the sleight of fist searing chains combination. The duel on the no chance witch, Dr. Izzy was trying to get the death ward off, means that he is dead, and that is 4 down. And as grim as this game was looking for Boom ID, which was really not that grim, it is looking pretty damn grim for Signify now.
Yeah, this kind of seems like we talked about it during the break. Well, actually, I'll hold that thought for now because there's some buybacks happening.
Yoakum literally just flies, and that's Rage down. He's like, see ya. And now you just back up. You have forced 2 buybacks, one of which is really important to Beastmaster. You back up, and you live to fight another day. You get some more farm for the rest of your heroes. This game's going great. They now have an Aeon Disc for the Death Prophet, so good luck killing her.
Ooh, that's the item.
Yes.
They do not have the Necro Book to purge that either.
Or Nullifier
it. Yeah, so that they do have the Yules though. You can Yules purge it, but then you're just.
I mean, he's up in the air for
2.5 seconds of immunity anyway.
Exactly.
So. Ooh, that's a duel.
Whoa,
that's possibly the most important target to duel, other than the fact that maybe he didn't just buy back.
Well, that's great that I missed it. I missed one of the most important duels of the game. Great stuff.
Yeah, it was just the Lina was just walking in the middle lane, going to push out the creep wave with one. Yeah, they smoked on her.
Great stuff.
It looks like this Ember is. I mean, this Ember, like, he's playing really, really well. I think that he's like super hard countered, but I think that the boom idea is just like they're playing the map a lot better as a team. Like that last smoke was just really, really nicely done. The way that they're taking their fights is like super, super well thought out, and it's really clear that they're just a team that's very comfortable playing with each other.
Yep. We thought that maybe this Ember Spirit wasn't going to have the best time. He's going to get pressed the attack, and he almost died there. This is time to run. Exorcism, that is a dead Witch Doctor, and more than likely a dead Lifestealer. He's dead for 50 seconds. The Tusk gets off a nice Ice Shards. That actually might keep him alive. They have no Hunter in the Night. He actually makes it out somehow.
That's a nice TP.
Pretty impressive juke in TP, but it doesn't really matter. The rest of his team is dead, with the exception of Lina, and her living is pretty important given the circumstances of this game. It is now a 7K lead for Boom ID. They have everything they need, with maybe the exception of Roche, Aegis, and Cheese to win this game, and of course TP ulti being down too.
It looks like it looks like they're gonna wait for that too. I think that's definitely the right choice. I mean, why risk it when you have this much map control? And as I say that, they're barreling down the middle lane. What?
I mean, they feel pretty confident. I don't blame them either. You know, I feel like
I think they're just pushing in the wave so that
they can go bottom after this. I think they'll probably go bottom.
Yeah, they're forcing Signify to go to the mid tower, and then they can push the bottom tier 2.
Yep.
Pretty easily, or at least they can set up for it.
Man, you know, we had some questions about this Ember Spirit. With just Battle Fury Lincoln Sphere, and I know the rest of his team is helping him out, but he feels like he's actually been impactful. He does a lot of damage in these fights. You kind of forget that Ember Spirit has really good damage from his spells. That's exactly what's happened. And also you have Battle Fury Sleight of Fist is actually a decent spell when you have it, instead of it just being useless.
He is doing a decent amount of damage, and like so is the Death Prophet, but I feel like it's only because the fights are lasting long enough when, with like Alina, Beastmaster, with all of these heroes on the dire side, like you want to burst, like that's how you want to take a fight, so you want to get the initiation. They have not gotten the initiation in like 5 team fights, and that's bad. Like that's why it looks like the Ember and the Death Prophet are doing. That's why they can do a lot, because these fights are lasting a long time, and they're being started by Boom, and Boom is taking out one of the heroes first. Like I think this game would look a lot different if we saw the Beastmaster with like a Shadow Blade roaring people, with maybe the Lina follow-up or something like that. But they're just Signify's playing like defensively this whole game.
I agree completely. It almost feels like they have the same issue they had last game. Trouble starting fights, trouble actually running in and getting some sort of initiation. For the beginning of the game, that wasn't the issue. You had a Tusk Snowball, you had good Ice Shards, you would waste to start the fight. That's not really happening anymore. Killing Fervian is hard because he's an Ember Spirit. He's very mobile. Killing the DP, she has an Aeon Disc. Getting into the situation where you want to take these fights, it's not really happening the way that they want it to, I think.
Yeah, well, at this point, it's like impossible to kill these heroes because of the items they have, but they didn't always have these items. Death Prophet, the BKB too. It's like, it's even harder. But it wasn't always this hard. Like, they had opportunities. It's just that, I mean, Boom were just one step ahead of them with like the smokes and stuff like that. As I say that, they're actually smoking right now.
And I think
they run into the nakes.
I think the Lina Shadow Blade is wasted because she wants to be able to get. Well, hold that thought. Blizzard might be dead. Yep, he's looking pretty dead. They're gonna pop Exorcism for this. Although Lucas almost dies, he does survive. The Blade Mail comes out. He actually waited to use the Blade Mail until the bitter end for some reason. No chance he's gonna cut the creep wave, or is he?
Night Stalker?
Does he have any idea?
He know? No, he has no idea.
He has no idea.
He's just TPing in.
Tusk's getting dove. Soul Assumption comes in. LSA trying to push them back with the Visage Birds. The Exorcism's going to end here in a moment. I don't know how much they want to go for. They might
maybe take the tier 3 and then leave.
I think they can't even. They don't have the life steal that they're fighting against, but I think with Exorcism down, they're probably not going to go much further. The Roche is up too, and they can go back for it unless they find like some initiation from.
With Roche up, like they know Roche is up. I feel like they push the wave in and then just go Roche.
What was I saying? I was saying something about how the Shadow Blade feels. I don't want to say wasted for the Lina, because like she wants to run around. I think
you're saying Attack on Titan's like a really mainstream show.
Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. It's very mainstream, and if you're a nerd, if you watch it,
you feel like the Lina hasn't utilized a Shadow Blade.
Yes, I'm probably wrong about this, but it's like she wants to be dipping and diving with the Shadow Blade, trying to find kills, but there's nobody that's setting those kills up for her. If that makes any sense.
He could be setting up his own kills too. I mean, a lot of them, like any 2 of their heroes, is going to be really good for setting up kills. Like they haven't even done an Infest Bomb. Yes. They just seem so scared, like they're playing defensively this whole time. Other than this one time right now.
Oh my god, like he's still alive anyway. I think. Well, maybe not. They hit that Ice Shards, but they have no vision. Now they do with the Hawk. Okay, he's dead. They're finally going to get the kill. It took them a while though.
Although there's backup.
Yeah, they're coming in. Negi is in trouble. Oh, but he gets off the BKB. The roar does come out, but his hand is still available. Mr. Krau, Spirit Siphon, run. Get the hell out of there. He's getting slowed up by the Spirit Siphon. He's going to blink out. That was a pretty good blink. Kez Cute getting chased down by Blizzard. Here comes the Ember Spirit. That's a Sleight of Fist doing a lot of damage. They need a duel. They can't find it. They're looking for Blizzard instead. Triple Remnant coming in. They get the kill into the lifesteal. With him dead, it's pretty rough. Now the Soul Assumption, Mr. Krau getting run down. So too is Negi. It's going to be 3 dead. A double kill for Fervian. They can easily take Roche now if they want. They could probably just push and try to end the game. We'll see what happens here in the next few moments.
Ping is coming out. They see the Lina. Oh. Legion could actually duel the Lina. Lina needs to be really, really careful.
That's a good Yules.
That's a nice Yules.
Yeah, he needed to do that in order to survive. The Legion blinked. It was like 5 feet away from her when he tried going for it. It's a little optimistic.
Yeah. Unfortunately, due to the vision, though, it's like that's basically the only blink he could have gone for. Maybe if his team can set up, or if he gets an overwhelming odds, Lina doesn't have Yules, or I don't know. It's a hard kill because of the vision.
Some rough stuff.
They're just going for it.
There's still no Lifestealer for 13. They do have Exorcism, so no reason not to push even without Aegis. You have BKB on the DP. She's pretty much unkillable now.
It's an arcane rune too with this exorcism, so they can use the next one for Roshan if they want to back off here.
Yeah, that's never a good sign for Signify. So Boom ID, they're trying to finish the game. They're trying to finish the 2-0 here in this series, get themselves 3 points, and become tied with Clutch Gamers. Duel comes out. Lena's dead. She has buyback, but that's pretty bad if she has to use it. The Death Ward does come in. That's the Legion Death. That's not that bad. Fervian is dove deep at the Tier 4 towers. In fact, a little too deep almost, but he's not dying. Soul Assumption coming out, of course, being spammed by XctN. They get off the Ember Spirit. The action remnants back towards the Tier 3 tower where it would have been. Roar's going to come out into XctN. They might get this kill, but they're actually running because FBZ is just in there, killing the rest of their team. I mean, look at the auto attack damage coming in. The axes now. Negi trying to get himself to safety, but Fervian blinks back in, looking for a kill on Swifty, which would be a dieback. Cast will bounce through, and that might keep him alive. No, it will not. Triple kill coming in for FBZ, and that should be the game. Although if Fervian will die to the tower, doesn't matter. GG's called.
Buyback? Buyback and travels in, Ember? What are you doing?
His hands are off the keyboard right now.
It just seemed like game 1 all over again, where it's pretty even, honestly, in favor of Signify, more so. But Boom just played really, really well as a team, and just executed. I mean, they just they